Hello and welcome to another how-to video of Infor's PLM Discrete version 10.2. I am Brian Rockwell, PLM Solutions Architect at Rockwell Consults. Tasks are the vehicle by which workflows are progressed and completed. Some tasks are user-driven, while others are system-driven. We will concentrate on the user-driven tasks in this video. We will start with a user who has a few tasks, mainly a combination of user and group tasks. We will first review the task list and see what information can be collected from it. Then we will review individual tasks and the required parts and processes of taking a task, task delegation, task approval, task rejection, task reassignment, and reapproval of a task. The task list by default is a collection of the tasks assigned to the user. Normally, the user will receive some email notification that they have a pending task, but all unprocessed and unapproved tasks will appear here. From here, information can be collected that will assist in knowing what needs to be done prior to approving the task. We will discuss the different responses that can be given to each task later on. For now, we will review the actual task and where to find important information. Initially, when looking at a task, you will want to know what it is that is required. That is seen from the Task Details field. Here, you will be given instructions as to the task or tasks to perform. Once you have fulfilled the requirements, you can approve the task. Other actions can be taken, and we will review them shortly. Depending on a user task or a group task, different actions may be required. In order to identify which it is, look at the column called User/Group. A user task is simply given to the assigned user and requires processing by that user. If it is a group task, however, there may be two different scenarios depending on your business configuration. The first is that the task is assigned to the entire group, and it will require you to take the task, meaning it will be removed from the task list of other group members when taken by a specific group member. This facilitates the task process and will prevent two or more group members from working on the same task simultaneously. This also assumes group members are responsible and responsive to the tasks assigned. Assuming the task is assigned to the group, if another group member has already taken the task, it will drop off your list of tasks. The fact that it is visible means you have already taken the task, or it is available for you to do so. To take the task, you will need to select the group task and right-click and select Task Operations and then Take. You now can process the task as if it were a user task. The second, a more direct approach, is to assign the task to the group leader, who then assigns it to a group member. This approach does put additional burden on the group leader to assign all tasks assigned to the group. Each company will have to take a long, hard look at their business environment to answer which is the preferred method. If you are the group leader, you will need to determine what to do with the task and delegate it to a specific user. You can select yourself, but anyone in the group will appear as potential candidates. You delegate by right-clicking the task and selecting Task Operations and then Delegate. This then brings up the group members and you can select someone for the task. Since Iron Man is the group leader for the engineering group, I will simply assign it back to him. Once the task is delegated, the user group column will now say Assigned. If the second scenario applies to you and you are not the group leader, the fact the group task is in your task list means it has already been assigned to you from the group leader, and you simply process it as if it were a user task. Okay, so let's review what are the important pieces or components of the task. Normally, the related items and documents are what we would review when looking at a bill of material or something like that, but when reviewing a task, a different set of rules apply. In the Workflow Launch How-To video, we discussed how to attach or link items and documents to the business process. If attached to a step, the item or document will require approval before the task can be approved. All items and documents attached to the step will need to be approved before the task itself can be approved. As you see, when I try to approve a task without approving the attached items and documents, the system prevents me. For this reason, I need to open the attached items and documents, but only those that are specific to this step. I do that by right-clicking on the step and opening both the tasks items and the tasks documents. This will show me the items and documents I need to approve. Since I have only been attaching items, they are all I will see at this point. However, I could have several of each depending on the change order. So to complete this task or step, I will right-click on each item and select Approve Item. Once I have done that, the response field now shows what I did. If I select Reject on any of the attached items or documents, I will not be able to approve the task. Therefore, I will select Approve for each and then right-click on the task and go to Task Operations and Approve. Task rejection is simply that I can approve all the attached items and still reject the task. Usually that would not be the case, as there is a problem that needs correcting. Therefore, I would approve the good ones and reject the ones that need work. I can also reject the one bad one and reject the task if I feel there may be some change later on. Once I approve a particular object, PLM remembers my answer and simply returns to where I was when the task returns to me for reapproval. When I select rejection, I need to provide a reason for that rejection. That rejection reason appears as the task details for the rejection task recipient, so they are aware of the reason for the rejection. If you receive a rejection task, the workflow is placed on hold or the status changes to rejected until you are able to correct the reason for the rejection. This is not a true approval task given to you per se, as PLM sees it as a particular case for processing. Other tasks that might be available to others are also suspended until the business process returns to the in-progress status. Once you have completed the rejection task, instead of approving the task, you will in fact forward the task to a particular step in the business process up to and including the task it was rejected from. This allows some leeway in selecting the steps necessary based on the particular nature of the rejection itself. Once the task is forwarded, the business process status returns to in progress and the workflow is now active again. If you have received a task rejection notice and you are the responsible user but need input from someone else that is required in order for you to complete the task, you can right-click and select Task Operations and then Reassign. The user field for that task then becomes available for you to select another PLM user to reassign this task. The person you select will need to either be a member of the group related to the task or someone with at least the same access level as yourself. For those who have admin functions, there are some additional steps that can be taken for the business process in general. If there has been some failure in the process, and you are the originator of the business process, you will receive a failure task and the business process is put on hold. The failure task will have some reason for the failure, and you will have some options as to how you want to resolve the issue. The principal reasons are determining the cause and correcting it, forwarding the task back to the point of failure. You can suspend the business process pending additional information. You can complete the business process, which will then appear as if it had completed all steps normally. Or you can cancel the business process and restart a new one. All this depends on what you are trying to gain. Therefore, the process attempts to provide as much flexibility as possible within the confines of the system itself. For more information about other how-to videos, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. To learn more about Rockwell Consults and how we can improve your manufacturing processes and data management, go to rockwellconsults.com.